All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. And today we are actually going to be talking about the NBA Finals, the 2020 Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. And I think it was pretty exciting. I thought it was a pretty exciting finals. So we're going to talk about that. We have to. If we don't talk about that, we are not a Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. Right? So let's get into it. I'm thinking about the entire time Jimmy Butler's performance and how he led the team. And I'm thinking like the contrast between the two teams, how you have one team with the clear superstars on the team, and then you have another team where you have someone that you could call a superstar in Jimmy Butler, and then you have a whole bunch of role players. But Jimmy Butler's leadership style and personality, it gives room for the other players to shine as well. Not only that, but Jimmy Butler himself gives the credit to his teammates and give them that moment to shine for themselves, you know? So
yeah,
the clear difference between, say, LeBron James and AD, and then you have Jimmy Butler on the other side, and even Bam Adebayo, which I think for this series, he kind of went quiet on us, you know, so it left a lot to Jimmy Butler to do, and for Duncan and Hero to also contribute. But what do you think about it?
well, I mean, let me start off by saying for Bam Adebayo is, he did get hurt in game one. Him and Goran Dragic both got hurt in game one. So I think that kind of tainted the whole series, a bit. And, I feel like, it's like the last, three championships, 3 or 4, where it's been like the finals are being tainted by injuries and stuff that's happening. So you're not really getting to see, the teams go at each other at their best.
Right.
But Jimmy Butler, I came away really impressed with Jimmy and how he performed, going toe to toe. I think he showed a level of superstar, a level of star. I've never really looked at Jimmy as a superstar,
Me either.
He's always been something.
Even now, it's still hard to look at him as a superstar. You look at him as a star, but not a superstar.
But he gave superstar performances. He elevated his game, up to a level that I didn't know he had in him. I didn't know he had. He went toe to toe, with LeBron, going against AD without another, real star on his team, to kind of go with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then about what you're saying, like how he played that way, but he also allowed his teammates also to shine, and I think that comes along with the benefit of Jimmy came into the league and he never was someone who was there because of what he could do offensively, scoring the ball and put the ball in his hands. And I'm gonna make every play and be the hero. He's been a role player.
Yeah,
he's been I don't say a glorified, but he's been an all-star kind of role player. Like, I'm gonna take the best defensive assignment, lock people up. I can give you, anywhere from 15 to 20, 20 plus points or whatever. But it's not all about his scoring, and that kind of helped in this situation that he was able to kind of, be that kind of guy and let his teammates still have some shine.
Yeah, and I think too, like I said, it's just Jimmy Butler is just he's a different type of player. Even when he was playing for the Chicago Bulls during that time period, and he was coming up, and Derrick Rose was coming back off the injury and everything. It's like Jimmy Butler had taken over that team, and when Derrick Rose came back, he kind of fell back a little bit, but he was like, no, I'm here. I ain't falling back all the way. Like this, I'm not just gonna let you come back and then I go back to scoring like 12 points a game or whatever. It's like, I'm here. You got to make some room for me. But his style is like, I don't know, man. He's a workhorse. But let's talk about the man of the hour.
He got that grind in him. That's what I'll say. That he got that grind in him.
He got the grind in him, and I would be happy to have Jimmy Butler on my team. And it seemed like at the beginning, a lot of people were kind of criticizing him, like, he's hard to play with. I don't think looking at how his teammates responded to him during this whole playoff series, and the genuine respect that they have for each other. I don't think it's Jimmy Butler. I think it's those other guys that were like, they were in it for the paycheck probably and not wanting to really put in the work. And Jimmy Butler was like, hey, I ain't playing for nothing. We playing for championships around here. And I
just say those other guys, go ahead and speak some names. Who are you referring to?
Oh, Cat.
Andrew Wiggins.
Cat, Andrew Wiggins.
Ben Simmons.
Those guys is just
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, they want the superstar credit, but they're not really
put in the work.
A championship. I don't know if I don't know if they're waiting for LeBron to retire to try to.
They don't. So I think Cat kind of. I hate to say Cat is what he is. He's a really good player, but his limitations. He's limited. Defensively, he's a little bit limited on his defense. Andrew Wiggins has always kind of left a lot to be desired. And he came in with he got so much athletic ability, but then it's like, is he the best basketball player? And that's always been a question.
Right.
Ben Simmons, what is this for Ben Simmons? Year 4, like he's still not shooting. He won't shoot the basketball.
Ben
like
Simmons
that's kind of
is what
stuff
he is too. Ben Simmons is what he is too.
He don't have to be, because anyone can go out there. Rondo couldn't shoot to save his life when he came in.
Right.
Anyone can go out there and practice a set shot. Anybody. Mm-hmm. You get played full time. He's the most disappointing out of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ben Simmons. So Hoopz Junkiez fans, what I'm going to say something that is very controversial for myself and for my brother AB. We are going to try to go this whole podcast without talking about the Houston Rockets.
Don't hold me to it.
Well, okay, so that word, so I just said Houston Rockets. That's going to be the last time y'all hear us say that word during this particular podcast. So we're going to give some other teams some love. And right now it's the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's talk about the man of the hour, LeBron James. LeBron James. The whole time I'm watching the game, myself and my wife, and you see that they just can't stop LeBron James. They couldn't stop LeBron James. AD was giving you some good defense finally, but he wasn't doing. I'm talking about the final game, the game 6. And he wasn't doing a whole lot of scoring, but he was like wiping out shots coming in the lane. I mean, he was batting people's stuff. But LeBron James, he did his part. They couldn't stop him. He was like a freight train coming down the lane. I mean, 6'9", 270 pounds, just coming at you full speed. It was nothing they can do. And Jimmy Butler ain't no wimpy, weak guy. But LeBron James was just like coming through with the Euro step, just moving him out the way for the layup.
Freight train.
It's crazy. That's what he should have did in game 5 toward the end, because him and Jimmy Butler was trading baskets back and forth. But then he started kind of trying to play on the perimeter a bit. What do you think about the pass that he made in game 5? Do you think he should have made that pass, or do you think that he should have kept that and did something different?
Listen, I'm a believer of making the right basketball play. So if your number one ability is to score, then the right basketball play for you is probably to score. Unless the pass is just so obvious it present itself, to be like that. I have to. Chances are, if you were looking at Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, because
I knew that was coming. That's
how they always get compared to, right? The chances are they're gonna kind of dribble into a play that creates a shot for them to be able to go one-on-one. Like Michael Jordan isolated at the top, on Brian Russell. You think Utah didn't want a double?
Yeah.
But look where he's isolating that, and if you come over there, with a double at that point, like you're gonna leave someone completely wide open.
But it
Um,
depends on how teams are playing you again. Like you said, if you wide open, which
which he
Green was
was,
Danny
which he
Green was
was, and
wide
that's why I
open.
said. So I don't have a problem with LeBron making that play. I think that LeBron is. It's funny saying this because he's going to finish, his career as probably number one or number two all time scoring. Right? If he don't get it injured and he
Yeah.
keeps up kind of even similar to his level, he'll be number one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say someone that's gonna have that on his resume is a scorer, but LeBron's not a scorer first, and I think that LeBron has to make his mind up coming, and you see it too. He'll make his mind up coming into the game that I'm gonna be aggressive as a scorer,
Mm-hmm.
and then and there's other games where he say I'm gonna come out and I'm getting my teammates involved, and that's gonna be my focus. Or he makes up his mind like this is a game that I have to do everything.
Yeah.
I have to be lead, set the lead defensively. I have to play make, and in Golden State, he had to do everything,
Yeah.
right? And I think that he didn't go into that possession with it on his mind first that I'm gonna score,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he at that point, what was he like 6 or 9 from the 3-point line?
Yeah. I mean, he was
He could have
cooking from the
isolated
3-point
and
line.
took a 3-pointer,
But
and
Jimmy Butler was all in his grill on that last play.
yeah,
So
but like,
just to be clear, are you trying to say that LeBron James should have taken that last shot? Or are
no,
you trying to say that the right
I
play was
think
the
that
pass?
LeBron made the right. I think that in the situation, right, given where he dribbled the ball to and how the play unfolded, he made the right play. Right, given the way the play unfolded, it was the right play. The wrong play in that situation, after he dribbled to where he got to, after they collapsed on him, would have been to try to force the shot. Him making the pass was the right play after it unfolded.
Yeah.
Now, initially, I would have preferred him kind of isolate, at the top and get to your comfort spot and take a jumper, take a shot, because you've been in rhythm and you've been hitting your shot all day.
Mm-hmm.
And when LeBron is hitting his shot, it's normally not a lot that people can do to stop him because he's so tall, so big, get a shot up and get a good look at it. So, but under the circumstances, he made the right play.
Yeah, I agree. I think he made that. And did you hear that that Danny Green and his wife were getting death threats because he missed that 3-point shot? That's stupid. Let me tell you, Hoopz Junkiez fans, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I understand the frustration with being so close to actually winning the championship and then you miss the shot. But when it comes down to you like threatening people's lives, you going too far. You going too far. You going too far. And you calling this man's wife threatening their life and all that.
Not only that, but if you call yourself a fan, right? If you call yourself a fan,
especially a fan of the team,
I'm assuming that if someone is threatening his life, they either like some kind of diehard Laker fan.
Yeah,
right. Deranged,
or they got money on it,
or they bet, or you got a whole bunch of money riding on the game. Either way, it's a personal problem. Like, it's basketball. The best shooters, the best shooters miss. Danny Green has been in the league for a lot of years. He's won titles. He hit big shots in the finals. I heard people say that he was scared. That's not a scary moment. Danny Green has been in game sevens, against LeBron, taking and making big shots.
Yeah.
So this is a game 5.
Yeah.
Y'all up 3-1. Like, that's not the moment where I'm going to be like, well, Danny Green got scared and he didn't want no piece of it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you who didn't want no piece of it. Or at least look, I don't know if he should say he wanted no piece of it, but he looked like he didn't know what to do in the moment, was Markieff Morris.
I knew you were going to say
the ball. Because Danny Green is spotted up wide open again, calling for it. So that lets you know Danny wasn't afraid. Yeah. He didn't relocate it. He's calling for the ball, and Markieff Morris is like, what do I do? What do I do? So, you want to point somewhere, point over there. Like, and that's still not to say call up his wife and threaten the man, or he threaten none of that stuff. But you want to say something, Yeah, Marquise Morris looked a little bit more caught in
Let,
between what to do.
let me bring up something that I haven't heard anybody talking about so far. They may have talked about. I haven't heard them talk about it. Dwight Howard won his first championship after all of these years. Do you think he was a big part of this championship run, or do you
Um,
think he was just another role player, pretty much?
he was another role player, but he played his role. So you don't win the championship. Shaq always call them the others, right? But you don't win your championship without, Michael Jordan don't win championships without Paxson and Kerr and Horace Grant.
And Rodman.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You need those guys. Yeah. Shaq and Kobe don't win their championships, without Derek Fisher and Rick Fox and Robert Horry stepping up and making big shots and big stops and stuff at the same time. So no, Dwight wasn't a starring,
He wasn't the main contributor.
he wasn't the main contributor, but yeah, he wasn't on the bench. He wasn't not doing anything either.
Yeah.
Like in certain series,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the name, but in certain series, that wasn't a series for them to play in.
No,
Right?
say the name.
Or JaVale.
Say the name.
But,
You got me to say the name the last time. You got to say the name.
him nor JaVale. It wasn't their series to play in, right? But this series, not so much worried about getting isolated against on the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now Dwight, you can go out here and go have a role and you can go play. And I'm happy for him, man. Like, to me, the first half of his career, he's a surefire, no doubt Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, his career kind of got off the rails a little bit, and to see him get a chance, he had to swallow his pride, accept his role. Everybody gave up on him. Everybody was just like pushed him off to the side. He couldn't even get picked up by some teams didn't want no part of him.
Yeah,
and
it kind of put me in the mind of Carmelo Anthony, where it's like, hey, we know you still got something you could contribute, but you need to accept your role. Carmelo Anthony, I think, was reluctant at first to do so, but I think he's doing that now with the Portland Trailblazers.
I wish for Carmelo Anthony's career that he was one of the last guys on that roster and getting a championship, because I do think that he would have contributed. I think he could have. I don't want to take nothing away from Marquise Morris, for instance, but I think he could have played a similar role. He'd have made similar big shots, and he'd have had a chance to go down as a champion, and it'd be a fitting end to his career. Yeah, not in a starring role.
Yeah,
but still, he could have been a contributor.
So the Los Angeles Lakers, 17 championships, and I think they tied for the high, probably the Boston Celtics, right? The 17 with 17 championships.
So I'm gonna take I seen this on Twitter. I used to listen. I haven't listened to him in a while, but NBA Radio. There's a guy on there, Justin Termini.
Yeah.
Does a show with Eddie Johnson on NBA Radio. So quick shout out to them. I love to hate them. Yeah. But he was out there and he was like, the Lakers, 5 of them championships came when they were in Minneapolis, when they were the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah.
With what's his name? The center. You're
talking about Kareem?
I'm failing the name is because I'm
Kareem.
Not Kareem, way before Kareem. This is when they were in Minneapolis and they won these 5 championships, with the
man. I wasn't even born when they was in Minneapolis.
Well, yes, I mean. So at the time, he was the most dominant player in the league, and they were winning championships or whatever. And the Lakers don't have his jersey. Ain't no statue for him. They don't have the banners hanging up that say Minneapolis Lakers. They don't acknowledge the Lakers. And then Termini even showed a picture image where they were trying to win their 5th. And Kareem, had a ring or whatever with the 4 championships on there. So, if y'all ain't recognized it all this time, as an organization, and y'all ain't out there celebrating their accomplishments from and the players' accomplishments that was on that Minneapolis team, y'all
Yeah.
don't get to claim it now. This is
Yeah.
ring number 12,
Yeah.
which is still a lot. So it's still 12.
Is it George Mikan?
George Mikan. George
George
Mikan.
Mikan.
Yeah, that's who it was.
All right.
So, yeah, you ain't retiring George
Give
Mikan.
George Mikan his daggum props. It wasn't his fault that they wasn't keeping up with stats and celebrating big accomplishments when they were winning championships back in the day. Get him,
And
man.
he was the original dominant big man. So
When we were in school playing basketball, they had us doing the George Mikan drill with the layups and stuff. I was like,
can you demonstrate
okay.
that? I would love to see the George Mikan drill. I think that it'd probably go up with like a 2-hand not leaving the ground layup or something.
It was a 2-hand, but you go up, say for example, you go up to lay the ball up with your right hand, you put your left hand up to draw the foul.
Yeah.
And we kept having to do that on both sides. Left hand lay up with the right hand to
see. Look, folks, it's always been good in basketball to draw a foul.
Yes, it has.
So quit trying to,
And obviously, George Mikan is the inventor of drawing fouls. If we doing a George Mikan drill, but yeah, get that man his props. I don't know if George Mikan is still alive. Okay, so the Lakers got 12 championships, and I think that it was fitting for them to do it. Number one, because honoring Kobe Bryant, and then also the city has been through so much going on with the wildfires and then the riots. And I mean, it's just been an unbelievable year for everybody. 2020 has. And for them to get to finally, after all these not even making the playoffs, to get a championship is big for, number one, is big for the city. Number two, is big for LeBron James, because it kind of cements his legacy. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, it's coming up. You and I both know it's coming up. Between the argument of who is the GOAT between Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Now that LeBron James has won another championship, that's going to be the discussion again. I'll tell you where I stand on that. The way that I look at it, a lot of people are counting the championships. Okay, but if you count championships, then you got to bring in Bill Russell. You got to bring in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it's like, okay, if the championships is what make you the GOAT, then Michael Jordan is not even the GOAT. All right, so you got to be. I think, to be fair, you got to bring everybody into play. I think you got to look at their career as a whole. Like, for example, LeBron James had 10 finals appearances in his 17-year career. Michael Jordan had 6 finals appearances. Now, the difference between the two is Michael Jordan won all 6 of those, but his team was always the favorite to win, and he always had the best team. LeBron James, at times, the team wasn't that good. It was just LeBron James was great. The Cleveland team before he went over to Miami, and then he came back to Cleveland. Even when he came back to Cleveland, that still wasn't like, I still think that wasn't the best team. I think the will of LeBron James is what brought them to where they were. So then I look at intimidation factor, what makes them great. I mean, just looking back at the Last Dance video, you see the intimidation that Michael Jordan had over everybody that they were playing. Them cats still intimidated today.
Yeah.
They still talking about how great.
I don't think that LeBron has the intimidation factor.
I don't. If on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate Michael Jordan's intimidation factor?
Judging by the way his competitors act today, and fans still remember him, it has to be a solid 10.
Okay, well, hold on. Before you go into it, before I ask you these questions, I have mine and I wrote them down, but I want to see if I was compared to each other. All right, so you say Michael Jordan is at a 10 when it comes to intimidation. What do you have?
I'm saying the way that other people react and respond, and they act like that was just, we just couldn't beat him ever. And so it's like, and this is still all these years later, and maybe that's what they have to say to validate their career. Like he
Yeah.
was just that great and
Yeah,
just
I
that
didn't
dominant.
win because I went up against Michael Jordan. But
Yeah.
what do
But
you
I know there's one team that firmly believes that they still would have won. He just happened to be sitting on the sideline,
yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
yeah,
don't think that they was intimidated.
one team is like, I don't care if he was playing or not. They weren't stopping us
Yeah,
this time.
you know,
So which we're
because they
not
were
gonna
beating them
discuss that
down
team.
throughout the whole time. So
Yeah, we're not gonna discuss that team because we said we would not discuss that team. So where do you rate LeBron James on the scale of 1 to 10 as far as his intimidation factor?
I think that it is probably about a 7.
Yes. You
Um,
you must be my brother or something, because that's why I have him. That's
yeah,
what I
okay.
have written down, a 7.
So the best things that I give him, right? This is in his favor. You
Yeah.
know, um, he come back. They come back on Golden State from 3-1, win the championship. And rumor has it that Draymond Green he pulled a Friday. He was like, "You gonna cry in the car." So Draymond was in the car crying,
Yeah.
trying to figure out, man, what went wrong. I got kicked out. That probably had a lot to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let my team down, gave them hope.
Yeah.
I screwed up.
If
What do I
Draymond,
do?
if Draymond Green could
You know
keep his
what? Aha! I got it. Let me
if
call up
Draymond
Kevin.
if Draymond Green learned how to keep his extremities off of people's nuts, then he may not have had to run into that problem of being suspended and his team losing.
He should have been suspended 3 times before that. So I don't have no sympathy for him. He should have been
Draymond,
gone.
keep your hands to yourself and keep your extremities close by you and away from other people's.
He can't control it. Apparently,
I guess.
apparently, when he go in for a layup and somebody challenges a shot, his body do all kinds of weird stuff that my body ain't never done in almost
I don't understand how you
30
go for.
years of playing basketball.
I don't understand how you go for a rebound and you end up with your leg on somebody's shoulder.
Yeah,
It ain't like these cats is short. Like how your leg.
Even if they look. Yeah. Anyway, but the best thing that LeBron got going for him in that intimidation debate is that the Golden State had to recruit KD.
Yeah.
Come over there to compete and try to knock him down. That's the best. But I also don't get the feeling that these cats are afraid. Like
no, they're not. They think they could beat. They think they could beat LeBron.
Yeah, I don't think they're afraid. I've never got the idea. Even when Dwayne Wade was playing against him, like Dwayne used to go at LeBron. Who else? Giannis. I don't think Giannis is afraid of LeBron. I know LeBron is older, up in age, but they never had. I don't think he's ever had that intimidation factor where they went in saying, we can't beat him.
Yeah.
Explains the finals record too. Look with Dirk. Dirk was like, I'll take on LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
So
and come out successful. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one thing Michael Jordan has over LeBron James is that these players nowadays they respect him, but when it comes to the game, it's like, dude, you gonna respect me too. Look no further than with him trying to film Space Jam 2 and him trying to get these players to come and be like the opposition, and they like, you ain't finna put me in no movie and wreck me. I got a reputation as well that I need to protect. They say, you're not Michael Jordan. You're not Michael Jordan. So yeah, that didn't work. I still don't know like what's the outcome of that the Space Jam movie, because obviously it hadn't come out yet. But another thing that I look at is Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan set the blueprint not only to basketball and his approach to basketball, but as far as how he runs his personal business too. So then these players start realizing, man, these Michael Jordan shoes, I mean, he's making a killing with these shoes. And then they come in and then they got shoes and, You know,
Yeah.
LeBron James now trying to build his empire, how Michael Jordan built his empire. I mean, he set the blueprint.
LeBron is trying to get to where Michael Jordan is,
Yeah.
basketball wise and business wise, personal wise. I think LeBron is probably a way better person than Michael Jordan. From what I
Yeah.
understand, he ain't the
Yeah. He
he's made
ain't
a lot of mistakes. He ain't the greatest. You know
he
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
your best friend. I could see LeBron James having the best friend. I can't see Michael Jordan having the best friend. I could see
Yeah.
him alienating a whole bunch of people.
No. Jordan run off his friends as soon as they say something about him that they don't agree with.
Yeah. Yep. Have him
Yeah,
blackballed from the NBA.
Charles Barkley criticized him how he was running the Hornets,
Yeah.
The Bobcats, and they ain't talk sense. So like he don't want to like Chuck. Like I got to do my job. Like
Yeah. Well,
screwing up.
so the blueprint. I mean, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, there would be no Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant influenced a lot of people. There would be no LeBron James, or there would be no Damian Lillard and all of these guys, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. It's all on the strength of Kobe. A lot of it comes from Kobe Bryant taking on like that same mentality as Michael Jordan, and then you got the Mamba mentality, and now that's being passed down. A lot of other NBA players are trying to take on that same type of
And
personality.
Kobe said it. Kobe came out and said it. He was like, "I'm not doing anything that he ain't done already.
Exactly.
I'm literally just copying and doing."
Yeah.
That came from Kobe himself saying that, giving props.
Yeah. So Michael Jordan, I believe, played 14 seasons, and then LeBron James is in his 17th season right now, and it don't look like he's slowing down. Matter of fact, it look like he's getting stronger as he goes.
No, he ain't getting stronger. I was gonna say this too. I think the best thing that I can say, the best compliment I can give LeBron James is he has mastered the game.
Yeah,
He's a complete mastery of the game of basketball. And there's only, a few select few that you can say that about, where you feel like they have everything slowed down, they can complete control of the game. And LeBron's got it on both ends. And in mastering the game, he has figured out when to press the turbo and for how long. He can't press the turbo, can't stay on as long as it used to.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for the whole game. Now it's just he's figuring out moments. You know what I'm saying? Where can I get rest on the court?
But that's the smart thing, and that's why I think his career has been prolonged, is because he's figured out I don't have to go full speed ahead. Kobe Bryant figured that out. It's like you pick your times where you rest during the game.
No, there's certain teams that he has to go full speed.
And guess where he learned that from? Michael Jordan.
But yeah, that's certain teams, like when he was playing Golden State, and he had to go full speed ahead, and he was, and he did everything he could, and he had nothing left. And now you're looking, that's why he looked exasperated with the J.R. Smith,
Yeah.
Like, I gave you everything I can give a perfect game. I didn't gave everything to just be in the moment to have a chance. And my teammate don't know that we're not winning.
Yeah.
You don't know what the score is.
Also,
on the clock.
Also I misspoke. Michael Jordan played 15 years. 15 seasons.
Yeah.
So I misspoke.
It's the same point. So if Jordan played 15 years, he took 2 years off, year and a half, 2 years off.
Yeah.
And then it's really a year and a half. I hate to say 2 years because he was there that second season.
Yeah.
But so at 35, they're in the same. So this is LeBron was in the Jordan's age 35 season when he played. He won his last championship with Chicago.
Yeah.
He was age 30.
So I brought up that was going to be the argument out of the GOAT between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and I noticed that I haven't said who I thought was the GOAT. And the reason why I say that is because you can't really. It's hard to compare. It's hard to. I haven't even really fully established that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. In my mind, that's me. but it's kind of hard to compare when you're talking about the two. And I think the best thing that LeBron James can do, because they ain't gonna never give him GOAT status. They never gonna give him GOAT. You can't go and have 10 finals appearances and win just 4 of those, and then expect that people are going to give you GOAT status between you and Michael Jordan. And so I think the best thing for LeBron James to do is just change lanes. Just
Actually,
create a different lane.
Actually, I don't think that's true. I think that Jordan played in his era, so you got all the people. Everyone thinks their era is better,
Of course,
and
that's why I say you can't win that argument.
but in 20 years, when Jordan era is fading out,
Yeah,
unfortunately, in 20 years, when the people that are admiring Jordan are not the people that you're seeing on TV all the time, constantly driving the narrative,
yeah,
it's going to be people that witness LeBron in his era,
yeah,
and it's going to swing, and LeBron is going to own every stat record. And then there's one thing that's something to say about going to 6 finals and not ever losing the finals, not having to go 7 games and all that stuff.
yeah.
There's another thing to say about going to finals 10 times.
Yeah.
And since he started going to the finals, well, let's just go back to 2011, right? How many NBA finals has not featured LeBron James?
It's hard to even like remember finals that hadn't featured LeBron James.
There are none. Like they all feature LeBron. Let me make sure I'm not over. No, I'll take that back. Toronto. So one year
they didn't play last year.
Yeah,
Toronto and a Golden State last year.
Yeah. But then outside of that, it's like because he's in the finals, every year. So that's an accomplishment to me. Where I'm saying I would say that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So 6-0 is impressive. I'm gonna say going 10 times out of 17 years is impressive.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back further than that on when well, I don't say further than he didn't make the playoff because he got injured last year. But when was the last time he didn't even make it out of the first round?
Yeah. No, he's always been right there in the conversation. If he's playing, it seems like if he's playing during the playoffs, his team going to the finals.
Yeah.
That's just how
they're going deep, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, another reason why I don't think LeBron James could ever win the GOAT conversation is because the people is the ones that's crowning you to GOAT, and the people are going to always be moving the bar. I guess plainly put, people are idiots. you can't win against idiots. So people always they don't want you to be the GOAT. They want Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan has always been their hero. I mean, you got the LeBron James era where those people are arguing the point. But then, I mean, like, who wins? Which side wins? Which argument wins? And so it's like, just do like Kobe Bryant did, LeBron James, and just be like, hey, I put my work out there for y'all to enjoy. It's art.
I mean, you got to think of a scenario. Like, what would be the scenario in order to get him to people to actually say he's the GOAT? If he's in the finals the next 3-4 years of his career and he's winning,
yeah,
then people probably gonna have to be like, 14 times.
Exactly, especially at the age that he is. That's how he's gonna have to win from this point on until he have more championships or the same amount of championships as Michael Jordan.
I would think that he would have to tie him in championships in order to get into, people to really start. When I say people, I'm not talking about this generation, the younger generation.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the older generation that start saying, okay, we'll reconsider it.
Yeah, because now you got 6 or more, and you've been in there way more times than like your whole career. You can't hardly call out times where he hadn't been in the finals. So,
I'll say this: LeBron is not my favorite. My favorite player, basketball player ever, is Kobe Bryant, and that's who I enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
that's who I grew up watching more of. I saw, Jordan later in his career. And I do remember everyone being scared of Mike. Like,
yeah, I remember.
oh man, he got the ball. This is not going to end well. Utah, how did y'all not know he was going to make the shot, man? 2 years in a row, like that's why y'all the Utah Jazz, man. That's why y'all the Utah Jazz. But you don't even come with a double. This look. There's no excuse for it. They ain't even come with a double team. Just let the man isolate. Leave Brian Russell out there on an island so he can get harassed.
Yeah.
And mean and everything. Whatever. I can't think of all the bad words. But Kobe Bryant was my favorite, and I felt like that he didn't have any weaknesses on the basketball court, and he was entertaining. And I felt like, because we grew up with the idea of what it took to be the best player, the greatest player was what Michael Jordan was. And Kobe had that same DNA in him. Like, I'm gonna take the hard shot. I'm gonna take the last shot. I'm gonna make it. Y'all gotta stop me foot on your neck.
And on top of that, Kobe actually got a chance to play against Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And now I say, okay, all the other players were maybe intimidated. Kobe Bryant wasn't intimidated by Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And so, you have, I mean, I guess the best way to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan without them two having played is to compare LeBron James to Kobe Bryant, which is the closest to Michael Jordan that anybody has gotten. And I still think a lot of times Kobe Bryant got the best of those competitions between those two.
And LeBron's numbers will always look better because I think the way that he plays, right, with the unselfishness and being willing to pass, and then his size, like he's naturally gonna get rebounds.
Yeah,
he's naturally with the size and athletic ability that he possesses. He's naturally gonna get rebounds. He's naturally gonna block shots, and it's hard to keep him out of the paint. Like he's gonna run over your power forward because he's bigger than your power forward.
Yeah.
So his stats will always look greater. But at the when the games matter, when it's tight and it matters, I still to this day felt like I wanted Kobe to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And I would want Mike to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the difference.
Do you ever remember Kobe Bryant giving the last shot up to anybody? Well, maybe Trevor Ariza.
His first one, his first one to seal the first championship, or to get to the first championship, he did the lob to Shaq. That alley lob to Shaq.
Yeah.
But again, and most times you think of Kobe and Jordan, you think they're taking that shot. They didn't always.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to crucify LeBron for not taking a shot. To me, he make the right basketball play. I want an open look for a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
that's a good play.
Yeah. Well, so what's your final verdict on who is the GOAT between Jordan and LeBron, or how do you think LeBron can reach GOAT status? What's your final word on that? Then we're gonna move on.
Well, before I get to that, real quick, I know what there is a final verdict on. And that is, and I started to wear all black today, but instead I put on my NBA top. I was going to wear all black because it's a funeral today. The funeral is the debate on who's the best player in the game today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing. Hey, listen, Kawhi Leonard.
No, yeah. We're putting that to bed.
Kevin Durant. You teamed up with the great ones, you know what I'm saying? So you got you a chip and you outdo them because you had Steph and Clay out there with you.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, you can score, you can do all that, but you ain't controlling the whole game offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
I won't mention my mans, but listen, that debate is over. And even at 35 years old, and I said it to people privately or whatever, that there's one person that I know that when the moment gets to be the biggest moment in the series, in the game, in the playoffs or whatever, there's one player that I know what you're going to get in that performance, and you're going to get a good performance.
Yeah.
And that's LeBron. I can't say that about anybody else. Kawhi out there with his 3 for 16, 4 for 17s, and no shots in the, and like everyone had their stuff where they come up small, and LeBron had his coming up small in 2011 against the Mavericks, but since then he's been great in every playoff series and every finals.
Yeah.
So that debate is over.
And he constantly improved. So all right, so we talking about the NBA bubble right now. We were talking about the championship series between Miami and the Lakers. But let's talk some more about the bubble. And what I wanted to discuss was some of our bubble surprises. So some players that just surprised you, like maybe they throughout the regular season before the bubble, they wasn't on the radar. But now for some reason during the NBA bubble, they started shining. So let's talk about some of those people. Do
Well,
you have anybody in mind that you wanted to just throw out right off the bat?
I have a few people, but I'll change it a little bit. I have to give somebody props who will have been on the radar,
Yeah.
the whole year. But this is the first time we got a chance to see him play in the playoff setting,
Uh-huh.
right? And that's Luka.
Okay.
So Luka was in the MVP candidate debate for this year, but in the end, it's the first time he's been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so you always have to see how someone's going to react to the playoffs.
Okay, so I was going to make this point too when we were talking about the GOAT argument, and the reason why I said people are idiots, remember I said that, is because LeBron James couldn't win that argument because people have their way of thinking. I'm already hearing or reading people talking about pretty soon Luka's going to be like the face of the NBA and all of that stuff, and he's going to be like the greatest NBA player ever. That's an article that I read. I think might have been SB Nation.
He might be the face of the NBA pretty soon.
He may be the face of the NBA, but Luka hasn't won a championship yet. It haven't even come close to even playing for a championship. And you already saying that soon Luka's going to be the greatest player? That's the article that I read. And so that's why I say people are idiots. You can't win.
I'm glad I'm on. I'm glad that I'm on. Doing this virtually, and I'm nowhere where I can be accessible, and my life can be threatened and put in danger in any way. All my folks in H-Town, don't get mad at me when I say this.
Don't say the word. Don't say the word.
Don't get mad when I say it. Luka is the truth, and as long as him and Porzingis stay healthy, that team is going to win a championship. They might win multiple. I am projecting Luka to go down as one of the greatest players to ever live. And when I say one of the greatest players, this is assuming.
Oh, you one of those idiots that I was talking about earlier then.
This is assuming that Luka does not get hurt, right? And that he has the long career, that he has the 15 to 20-year career that the other greats have, right? Luka will go down as a champion and a top 20 player in NBA history. I'm going to say top 20 because I don't want to go agree because, we got to start naming off lists to say who's in that top 20, but he's going to be in it.
What makes you say that, though? What makes you say that?
He's probably going to be the next guy to average a triple-double for a season, and it's probably going to happen for multiple seasons. And I don't want to say that he is, I like Russ, but and Russ, I think there was some of that. Look, I'm purposely going out here looking to try to get the triple doubles. Mm-hmm. I'm stealing rebounds. I'm having my teammates block out and all that stuff. Luka is more. He ain't the athlete that LeBron James is, mm-hmm. right? He's not the athlete that LeBron is. As a matter of fact, he's slow and kind of non-athletic
and clunky.
But he's big. He's skilled, and he can get wherever he wants to on the court. He's like a bigger Paul Pierce.
A bigger Paul Pierce?
Yeah, like a bigger Paul Pierce. As far as how slow, nope, that's not the right one. I was gonna say because Paul Pierce is slow and non-athletic, but he get to where he want to get. Luka is the modern day Larry Bird. And when I say that, I'm talking about his his ability to score and get to his spots whenever he wants to, and his ability to pass and play make for others. He see things that other people don't see, and with that team and the way teams team up in the NBA these days, if it ain't with Porzingis, who's already really good, he's got to stay healthy. Um, um, I think that he got greatness in his future.
Well,
And the way he played in this playoff series, the first time ever been in the playoffs, and undermanned with Porzingis being out, and when they threw Kawhi at him.
yeah,
Kawhi's supposed to be one of the best defenders in the league. They threw Paul George at him. He's supposed to be one of the best defenders in the league. They couldn't do nothing with him.
yeah.
And that was without his roll dog. That's without his number two, and which is a pretty big deal. And like I said, the way he came out in this playoffs and the way he played, he wasn't afraid of the moment, and I think that he's going to be a problem for years to come.
Well, I mean, so I give Luka his props. That he's Luka Doncic is dangerous. He's dangerous. He's up and coming. I can't really start talking about the greatness thing until Luka Doncic come close to winning a championship, or at the very least willing his team further in the playoffs.
He's in the second round.
Forward.
He's in the second round. He's in his second year. Sorry, I was only his second year.
That's what I'm saying. I can't do that early and be like, Luka Doncic gonna be great. Like,
no, I'm projecting
player.
Okay. Let me revive. So, where would KD be in the discussion had he never won a ring? So if he don't go to Golden State, right?
Uh-huh.
If he don't go to Golden State and they don't win a ring,
mm-hmm.
How great would you look at KD?
I wouldn't look at KD being that great. As a matter of fact, that's a good comparison. I will probably, if KD never won a championship, I will probably say that Luka Doncic would be on that same level as Kevin Durant. So much potential, so much upside, but he just hadn't won it yet.
Yeah.
That's why I will put Luka Doncic. I can't say that he's, because we both know Luka Doncic is not even greater than Kevin Durant. Even if Kevin Durant hadn't won the championship. Even if Kevin Durant hadn't won
season, though. He in his second season.
He's in his second season. But that's what I'm trying to get to, is people saying that Luka Doncic is going to be like the greatest. No, he's not even better than Kevin Durant. Even if Kevin Durant never won a championship, Luka Doncic is not greater than Kevin Durant.
So we can't say it because it's in second season, but I'm saying that I'm not going to say greater, but I'm saying that he's on the Kevin Durant trajectory already.
Yeah.
Right? Had KD. So let's assume that Luka don't win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
So we assume that he don't ultimately win a championship, but he has the longevity of a 10-plus year career, 10, 12, 15-year career, then he is on the same trajectory that Kevin Durant would have been on. So I'm not going to say he ain't better. Well, Kevin was
which is not the greatest player, which is not the greatest NBA player ever.
I said one
trajectory.
I said one he's going to be one of, and I do think KD still would have been one of. And I don't put that much stock in the championships that KD won.
Do you put KD in the top 10 ever, greatest NBA player?
But I didn't say Luka was top 10.
No, I'm asking, do you, not saying that Luka,
no,
I'm not even talking about Luka, but do you put Kevin Durant up there?
No. That top 10 list is exclusive. And you start, we in one of these days where we can name off the top 10, but not quite. And I got a lot of KD is skilled. He's a unicorn, all this stuff, but nah, not top 10.
Kevin Durant hasn't shown to me yet that he could drag his team and will his team. He hadn't had to do that. He had to do it when he was OKC, but they didn't succeed. But when he played for Golden State and won those championships, it wasn't all KD.
Yeah,
he was just another threat. He was just another infinity stone.
So had KD won that championship when they were up 3-1, and had they end up winning the ring that year,
yeah,
then he would have a tighter argument. He still wouldn't, because the guys in that top 10 list have done that multiple times.
Yeah.
Right. All of them. So but he would be even closer to it. I don't put that much stock into the championships he won in Golden State for obvious reasons.
He had a good performance, a good showing against LeBron James, but I mean, yeah.
You get to play one-on-one.
Take LeBron James off the Cleveland team and put KD on Cleveland team. Would KD and Cleveland would have still had a chance to beat Golden State? Do you think that would be the case?
No, not a chance.
Yeah.
Did you say put LeBron off the Golden State team?
Yeah, I mean, no. I'm saying take LeBron James off and put KD on. You don't even have to put LeBron on Golden State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you think KD could have led with Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Love, and then whoever else was on that team? You think that they would have beat the Warriors without?
No.
I don't think.
And then if you took KD off, you got to put Harrison Barnes back. On that, you got to, because that team would have been had more depth and more talent if KD was missing, because they gave up talent and depth to get KD in the first place.
Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want to check out more videos, don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you are alerted anytime we post new videos.